My fiancé's parents told me you'll be paying her $150,000 student debt when you marry her. I nodded. It's only fair. Then I canceled the wedding and sent them an itemized bill for the $50,000 I'd already spent on her. Their lawyer's response was hilarious. Original post. I 32 male was supposed to get married next month. Keyword, was. Been with Madison 29 for 4 years. Got engaged last year. Everything seemed perfect. We had similar life goals, great chemistry. Her family loved me, or so I thought. Wedding planning was going smoothly. Deposits paid, venue booked, the whole 9 yards. 2 weeks ago, Madison's parents, Harold and Diane, invited me over for dinner. Just me, not Madison. Said they wanted to discuss wedding finances and some family expectations. I figured they wanted to talk about their contribution to the wedding. Man, was I wrong. We're sitting in their formal dining room, and Harold pulls out this whole folder. Like an actual presentation folder, with tabs and everything. So Derek, now that you're officially joining the family, we need to discuss Madison's financial situation. Okay? Madison has $150,000 in student loans from law school. As her husband, you'll be taking on that responsibility. I literally laughed, thought they were joking. That's Madison's debt. We've already discussed keeping our premarital debts separate. That's not how marriage works in our family. A husband provides. Period. Besides, you make good money in tech. Madison shouldn't have to worry about money when she has a successful husband. She's a lawyer. She makes $85K a year, which is nothing compared to your salary. Don't be selfish, Derek. Here's the thing. I do make good money. About $180K as a senior software engineer. But I also worked my ass off to pay off my own $60K in student loans. Lived like a monk for 3 years. Drove a 15-year-old Honda, ate ramen. Madison? She's been making minimum payments while buying designer bags and taking girls' trips to Cabo. Diane, we've actually prepared a payment plan. If you refinance the loans and pay $2,500 monthly, you'll have them cleared in about 6 years. They slid me an actual amortization schedule. These people had spreadsheets. Me, did Madison ask you to talk to me about this? Madison doesn't know we're having this conversation. She's too proud to ask, but we know she's been stressed about the debt. So she doesn't even know about this ambush? It's not an ambush. It's a discussion about family obligations. When you marry Madison, you marry into this family and its values. Look, we paid for our son-in-law's business loan when he married Cynthia, Madison's sister. It's what families do. Me, that's your choice. This is mine. Don't be short-sighted, son. Madison is a catch. Her debt is a small price to pay. I sat there, looking at these people I'd shared holidays with for 4 years. The entitlement was staggering, but I kept my cool. You're absolutely right. It's only fair. Diane beamed. Harold looked satisfied. I'll need some time to review my finances and make arrangements. Harold, we knew you'd see reason. Madison is lucky to have you. Drove home. Called my buddy who's a contract lawyer, had him draft something up over the weekend. Then I did some math of my own. Update 1. Didn't tell Madison about the dinner with her parents. Wanted to see if she'd bring it up. She didn't. But she did mention casually that her mom had been asking about our financial planning. Red flag. Started documenting everything I'd spent on her over our relationship, not to be petty, but because I had a feeling I'd need receipts. The number was enlightening. Gifts, $12K, jewelry, electronics, designer items she needed. Trips, $18K, always upgraded to first class because she couldn't fly coach. Her car repairs, maintenance, $5K, she couldn't afford it on her tight budget. Rent support, $8K, helped her out during a rough patch that lasted 8 months. Wedding deposits, $7K, just my half, obviously. Total, $50K. Meanwhile, I paid for 90% of our dates, groceries when she stayed over, which was 5 nights a week, streaming services, you name it. But here's what sealed it. I asked Madison, hypothetically, what she thought about handling student loans in marriage. Madison, well, obviously they become joint responsibility. That's what partnership means. So, if I had $150 in student loans, you'd help pay them? Laughs. Derek, you don't have loans. That's why we work so well. You're financially stable. But, hypothetically, that's different. You make way more than me. It wouldn't be fair to expect me to pay your debts when you can afford them yourself. The actual audacity. That night, I made my decision. Texted my lawyer friend. Canceled vendor contracts where possible. Ate the deposits where I couldn't. Gonna be honest, losing those deposits stung, but not as much as paying $150K of someone else's debt would've. Update 2. 3 days after the parent ambush, I invited Madison's whole family over. Told Madison I had a special announcement about the wedding. She was practically glowing, probably thought I was going to announce I'd paid off her loans or something. Harold, Diane, Madison, her sister Cynthia, and her husband Brett all showed up. I'd ordered catering from Madison's favorite place, set up the living room nice, had a bottle of champagne ready. Madison. Babe, what's all this about? You're making me nervous. We just wanted everyone together for this. Harold, Diane, I've been thinking about our conversation. Madison looked confused. Her parents shifted uncomfortably. You were right. When you marry someone, you take on their responsibilities. It's only fair. Madison started smiling. Diane grabbed Harold's hand. Which is why I need to discuss Madison's financial obligations to me. Silence. Madison, what? I pulled out my folder. Yeah, I made my own presentation. Over the past 4 years, I've invested approximately $50,000 in our relationship. Given that Madison believes premarital debts should become joint responsibility, I'll need her to reimburse half before we proceed with the wedding. Harold stood up. This is ridiculous. Is it? You said when you marry into a family, you take on obligations. Madison owes me $25,000. Will you be writing that check, or should I expect it from Madison? Derek, what are you talking about? Those were gifts. No, sweetheart. According to your parents, they were investments in our future. And according to you, financial obligations should be shared equally in marriage. So let's share. You can't be serious. Seems fair to me. Oh, and about the wedding. It's canceled. I've already notified vendors. You'll be receiving bills for your portion of the lost deposits. That's another $7,000, by the way. Madison started crying. You're calling off our wedding over money? No, I'm calling off our wedding because you and your parents tried to manipulate me into taking on $150,000 of debt that isn't mine. You never once mentioned your parents' family values about husbands paying wives' debts. You knew about their plan, didn't you? They said, I didn't think you'd mind. You make so much money. There it was. This is insane. You can't bill us for gifts you gave our daughter. Me. Watch me. I have every receipt, every bank statement, even screenshots of Madison texting me asking for money. We'll sue you for breach of promise. Cool. I'll countersue for fraud. Madison entered this relationship under false pretenses, hiding her expectation that I'd pay her debts. That was mostly BS, but it shut him up. Derek, please, we can work this out. No, we can't. You could have been honest, could have had an actual conversation about finances. Instead, you sent your parents to strong-arm me into it. Pack your stuff. You've got till Friday. Oh yeah, forgot to mention, Madison had basically moved in but wasn't on the lease. Convenient. Update 3. Madison did not take this well. The next day while I was at work, she tried to clean out the apartment. Not her stuff. My stuff. My neighbor Ted, retired Marine, absolute legend, called me. Hey Derek, your girl's loading her TV into a U-Haul. I rushed home. Caught her red-handed with my gaming setup, my espresso machine, and yep, my 65-inch OLED. Me, what the hell are you doing? Madison, taking what I'm owed. You humiliated me. You owe me for emotional damage. That's theft, Madison. It's compensation. I called the cops. Madison tried to spin it as a domestic dispute, but Ted backed me up. Told them he watched her loading my stuff while I was at work. She actually told the officers that she was taking marital property. Officer, ma'am, are you married to this man? We're engaged. We're engaged. I have text messages from her saying she's moving out. Showed them the texts. Also showed them receipts proving I bought everything she was trying to take. Cops made her put everything back. Madison's face was priceless. She kept screaming about how I was financially abusing her. Officer, obviously tired of this. Ma'am, not giving someone money isn't abuse. He promised to take care of me. Officer, unless you have that in writing, it's not legally binding. That gave me an idea. Update 4. Remember that contract lawyer friend? We drafted something beautiful. I sent Harold and Diane an official-looking demand letter for the $50,000, itemized with every single expense, complete with receipts and bank statements. But here's the kicker. At the bottom, I included a settlement offer. I'll waive the entire amount if Madison and your family agree to sign a statement acknowledging that 1. The relationship was terminated due to financial deception. 2. No further contact will be attempted. 3. Any defamatory statements about me will result in legal action. 4. Madison will return my grandmother's ring immediately, worth $15K. Harold actually hired a lawyer. This is where it gets hilarious. The lawyer called me 3 days later, trying not to laugh. Lawyer, Mr. Peterson, I've reviewed your interesting demand letter. And? While creative, you have no legal grounds for demanding reimbursement for gifts freely given during a relationship. I know. You? No. Of course I know. Just wanted them to feel what it's like when someone tries to make you pay for something that isn't your responsibility. Long pause. I see. Well played. Lawyer, between you and me, Harold tried to convince me to countersue. When I explained he had no case and would owe me $5 just for filing frivolous paperwork, he nearly stroked out. What about the ring? Legally, engagement rings are conditional gifts in this state. Since you called off the engagement, technically she could keep it. Even if she committed fraud, that would be hard to prove. However, Madison has agreed to return it in exchange for you dropping this whole matter. Deal. Got my ring back yesterday. Madison couldn't even look at me. Diane called me a pathetic excuse for a man, and Harold muttered something about my lack of class. Update 5. The social media drama started instantly. Madison posted this sob story about how I abandoned her over financial insecurities. Her friends started blowing up my DMs. I posted one response. Interesting take. Here's what actually happened. Her parents demanded I pay her $150 student loans because husbands should provide. When I refused, I found out she knew about it and expected me to just accept it. I don't have financial insecurities. I have financial boundaries. Attached screenshots of my texts with Madison where she admitted she knew about her parents' plan. The comments flipped immediately. Suddenly, everyone was calling out Madison for being a gold digger. Her sister Cynthia actually DM'd me. Cynthia, I'm sorry about my parents and Madison. Brett and I didn't know about their plan. Your parents said they paid Brett's business loans. They gave us $10 as a wedding gift. Brett's business was already profitable. They've been lying to Madison to justify their demands. Plot twist I didn't see coming. Madison tried damage control, posted about how I was financially abusive and controlling. Even started a GoFundMe for her student loans, claiming she was escaping a toxic relationship. It raised $150, mostly from her mom. Her law firm saw the drama. Madison works at a small firm that values integrity and professional conduct. They weren't thrilled about the attempted theft. Ted had recorded it on his phone and I'd shared it with close friends who happened to know her colleagues. She got a formal warning about her professional reputation. Last week, Brett texted me. Brett, Madison's loans just went into default. She's been shopping instead of making payments, thinking you'd handle them after marriage. Parents can't bail her out. They're mortgaged to the hilt. Karma's a bitch. Final update. It's been 3 months. Here's where everyone landed. Madison had to move back in with Harold and Diane. Her loans are in collections. She's been written up twice more at work for unprofessional conduct. Apparently, she kept trying to use company time to find a new rich boyfriend on dating apps. She's now on a performance improvement plan. Harold and Diane are stuck with a 29-year-old daughter who still expects them to fund her lifestyle. Harold contacted me last week asking if I'd reconsider. Actually asked if I'd reconsider. I just sent back, "LOL," and blocked him. The wedding vendors kept most of the deposits, as expected. Madison's family threatened to leave bad reviews, but the vendors shut that down real quick with their cancellation policies. Found out through mutual friends that Madison's now dating some investment banker she met at a bar. She told him she's debt-free and financially independent. That relationship should implode in about 3, 2. I'm good. Took a solo trip to Iceland, would have been the honeymoon. Turned Madison's old closet into a VR gaming room. Started dating a software developer named Jamie, who pays her own bills and thinks the whole story is hilarious. She actually sent Madison a Venmo request for $1 as a joke with the note, "For Derek's emotional trauma." Madison blocked her. Best $7,000 in lost deposits I ever spent. Could have been $150,000 in student loans, plus a lifetime of entitlement. Oh, and remember my grandmother's ring? Sold it. Used the money to buy myself a new gaming PC and donated the rest to a financial literacy charity. In Madison's name, they sent her a lovely thank you card. Some might say I went too far. But you know what? If someone tries to manipulate you into taking on $150,000 of debt and thinks you'll just roll over because that's what husbands do, they deserve everything they get. The entitlement was off the charts. The fact that they thought they could ambush me into this, that Madison knew and played innocent, that they tried to steal my stuff when it didn't work, nah. They played stupid games and won stupid prizes. My only regret? Not seeing Harold's face when his lawyer explained that his sue for breach of promise plan would cost him more in legal fees than Madison's entire debt. Actually, no regrets. That would have been fun to see though.